In this video, I'll be working through the question you can see on the screen here from the summer 2025 Cambridge A-Level Maths paper 2-1. I'm going to try and show you how to do this question and not just the solution. So definitely pause and rewatch certain parts of the video as you need to. If you're looking for a different question from this paper or a different paper entirely, have a look in the description below. You should be able to find a playlist there or have a look around on my channel. Okay, let's get into the maths. In question 5, we're given a polynomial with some missing pieces of information. A and B is missing. There's an A here, B here, and again an A here. To find those two pieces of missing information, that's what they ask us to do in part A. They give us two clues. They tell us 2x minus 3 is a factor, and they tell us if you divide by x plus 1, you would get a remainder minus 15. There's two ways I can see to do this question. One of them is my favourite way to do these questions, but I won't do it here because it's a little longer and a little messier. That's dividing this in to this. I've always just liked dividing polynomials. I think it's cool. So if you divide this in, after you do all your work, you remember your work of dividing in polynomials, at the end what you should get is 0. Because this is a factor, it should have no remainder. What you'll actually get is like A's and B's equal something. That'll give you an equation in A and B. And once again, so you move on and you hope to get another equation from this one. If you divide this in to this, what you should get is minus 15. But what you actually get, well, what you'd expect to get is A's and B's again. You'd get two equations in A's and B's and you solve it. Actually, it works out really nice when you divide this one in and you just find out what B is. But the way I'm going to show you also works out nice. The way I'm going to show you is using these facts as well. When you have a factor, what it actually means is if you put this equal to 0 and solve for this. Well, let me do it with both of these because we're going to put both of these equal to 0. If you put both of these equal to 0, this one you'd get x is equal 3 over 2. And this one you'd get x is equal to 1. This one will have a remainder 15. When you put these numbers in, these roots to these factors as it were, when you put these numbers in, p 3 over 2, this is a root, so you should get 0. But when you put this number in, if you know what the remainder is, when you put this number in, p1, you will get the remainder. And if you know the remainder, you can just write it out. Knowing this here is the key to doing this question quite simply. Again, as I just said, this one will work out quite nicely, but I don't know that yet. So let's go ahead and do this one first. Put 3 over 2 into everything here, and I now know the answer is 0. 3 over 2 into this is 27 over 8 times A. Plus 3 over 2 into this is 9 over 4, so that's a 9 over 4 times B. 3 over 2 into this, we get minus 3 over 2 times A, minus 24 equals, minus 15. You could clean this up, there's A's together here. Multiply everyone by 4 is what I do to get 8 on the bottom row. Combine the A's together. I've done all that here, so to save myself a bit of time, you'll get 15A plus 18B is equal 192. That's from the first piece of information. What I'm expecting now to find is another equation in A and B when I do the second one, and I'll have a simultaneous equation. That's a very common thing to happen in these questions. It works out a lot nicer. I guess I have lots of room down here to do this. If I put 1 in up here, I'll get A, I'll get plus B, I'll get minus A. I'm just putting 1 cubed, 1 squared, 1. They're all 1. Minus B, minus 24, and I know that the answer is minus 15 because that's the remainder at that point. That's just a theorem in maths. Let's see, the A's cancel. We're left with B is equal 24 minus 15, or B is equal to 9. So we don't have a simultaneous equation. It's actually, we just know what B is. We put that in over here, we get 15A plus 9 times 18 is 118 minus 18. So 162 equals 192. A is equal, this minus this is 30, divided by 15 is equal to 2. There are your two answers. A is equal to 2, or B, and B is equal to 9. That's full marks for part A. If you are finding my videos useful and would like to help the channel out, on top of liking and subscribing, probably the best thing you could do is to tell other people doing the exam about my channel. Maybe you could share this video in a class WhatsApp group. Then if you feel I've really deserved it and you would like to buy me a coffee, you could become a member on YouTube or on Patreon. You should find links to that in the description below. In part B, they say hence factorize px. First of all, importantly, the word hence there matters. Hence is telling you use what you just found out. That means use the fact that A is 2, B is 9, and again A is 2. They want you to fully factorize this. If in part A you had done the long division that I suggested you could do, you'd be mostly done because half the work would be done for you for this, but it's not too hard. Anyway, we still know this is a factor. So to factorize this, we know part of the answer. It's 2x minus 3. That's part of the answer. That must multiply by something to equal this. And what you can do is, what you usually do in this case is you put in like a x squared plus bx plus c. I guess maybe you shouldn't use a and b because it was already used before. But anyway, you need to know that it's a quadratic because you have an x here, you want to get an x cubed, so you need an x squared. So this would be a good guess to make. What you can do here is multiply this by this, get all the x cubes together, all the x squares, all the x's, all the numbers, and put them equal to up here. You can solve what all of these are. And the thing is, it's actually quite easy to solve for A and C though. And you wouldn't even bother putting them out because 2x multiplied by what x squared is equal to 2x cubed. Must be a 1 here, or we just leave it out. It's done. That's the only way we get x cubed. It's only these two numbers involved in this one. And equally so, this last guy is only involved with this one and this one. What number must multiply by minus 3 to get minus 28? It must be an 8. So you're actually half your work is done. We're only trying to find out what this is. Let me rub out the B. It might be confusing there. I guess I'd put it any letter you want there. A, B is fine. Let's just use C because it hasn't been used yet. Again, you could just multiply this by all of this and equate it to one of these two that we haven't used yet and find out what C is. You don't have to do all that though. You could just use one of these. For example, how do you get an x squared? How do we get an x squared? It must come from an x times an x or an x squared times a number. That's the only way an x squared appears out of all of this. So using that fact, I know this 9 must equal this x by this x. That's a 2 times c. Combined with this number by this x squared, that's a minus 3. Or you can leave all the x squares in if you want, they just disappear. So 2c must equal 12, a c must equal 6. This c here must equal 6. You're not finished. You've partially factorized it. They said factorize it completely. Let me write this again down here. 2x minus 3 times x squared plus 6x plus 8. You've partially factorized it. You can still factorize this part here. If you're not good at factorizing quadratics, I know a lot of students aren't, use the minus b formula. It will help you do it. Or use a fancy calculator. It will also help you do it. Check if that's cheating on the A-level. Might be, so be careful on doing that. How do you factorize this? What two numbers make x squared? That must be x and x. Two numbers that make 8. 8 and 1 or 2 and 4. Which of those would work well to get a 6? 2 and 4 would. And let's just double check everything then. 4x plus 2x, that would work. And plus 2 times plus 4 would get plus 8. That would work out. Let's write in this last one here. This is your answer to part B. This is px fully factorized. This is still px still equals that. In part C, they want us to solve the equation p of this equals 0. You would be tempted to, so they gave us px earlier. I have it still down here. You would be tempted, instead of x, to put this number in everywhere. That'd be a bit of a mess, and you'll hopefully after a few minutes you go, hang on, this is a lot of work, and there's only 2 marks. So there is a trick involved there. Well, let me first just rewrite this. I hate cosec. This is just 3 divided by sine theta. That's all that means. That's 1 divided by sine, and the 3 is still multiplied, equals 0. The equals 0 is the important thing. What happens when px equals 0? We have an answer for that. We know x is equal to 3 over 2, or x is equal to minus 2, or x is equal to minus 4. When this equals 0, it's really easy to solve because we factorized it. So when this is equal to 0, it's really easy to solve. It just means that this 3 over sine theta, instead of x, is equal to 3 over 2. Let me split the world into 3 parts. Or 3 over sine theta is equal to minus 2. Or 3 over sine theta is equal to minus 4. That's all this tells you. When it's equal to 0, it means we can use this factorization very, very easily. Rearrange this, we would get sine theta is equal to 2. Sine theta would come up here, 3 would go down there, 2 would come up here. Try it out, it would equal to 2. This one here, sine theta is equal to minus, is that right? Minus 3 over 2, and this one here is sine theta is equal to minus 3 over 4. They'd be the 3 ones you want to solve. At this point, you also want to be thinking, they told you the answers between 90 and 270. But something else should be jumping out at you as right or wrong here. To help you out, let me draw sine. Sine looks like this. This is what sine looks like. When is sine equal to 2? It never is. That's 1. And this is minus 1. Sine is never equal to 2. This should have jumped right out at you as being impossible. There's no answer at this part of it. But that's okay, we have other options. When is sine equal to minus 3 over 2? That's minus 1.5. It's all the way down here. That's never, it never hits up here. This is also an impossible answer. We're only left with this one here. When is it equal to minus 3 over 4? Well, that is possible. It's down here. Let's put that dotted line in. There's lots of answers for it. Here's one, here's another. There's millions, there's infinite answers to this. If you put this in your calculator, theta is equal to the inverse sine of minus 3 over 4. You'll get out the answer minus 48.6. If you leave this as your answer, you're going to lose a mark. I assume they'll give you 1 mark for all the work you did here, but they're not going to give you 2. This is not the answer they wanted. They told you, I never wrote it down, but they told you the answer was between 90, theta is between 90 and 270. So they didn't want you to just use your calculator, they want you to use your brain. Calculator found this answer here. They wanted to make sure you only looked between, let's see, here and here. That's 90 and 270. So the only answer they're looking for is this one here. How do you find it? You use your brain a bit. How far away from the 0 point is this one? This one here, it's 48.6. So that means this point here must be 48.6. This is 180. So 180 plus 48.6 is the answer you're looking for. So the answer is, I have it written down here, 228.6. That's the answer you're looking for. Just in case you're wondering, this answer here, because maybe you have a fancy calculator that will shoot out lots of answers. This answer here would be 311.4. And I guess they start repeating then. This one would be 360 added to this, which I don't know, is 300 and 320, 312, something like that. If your calculator does give you all those, all you need to do is throw out the ones that don't fit in here. So yeah, just to write out a few of them: minus 48.6, 311.4. Maybe your calculator shoots out a lot of answers. Just you need to put a line through the ones that are wrong. This is the only valid one in the range they asked for. Okay, that's it for question 5. If you have any follow-up questions, first of all, let me know which part you're talking about. Lots of students asked a question about a 20-minute video, and I'm like, what? It was 3 years ago. What part are you talking about? So please help me out on that. Thank you for watching, and have a great day.